Infinitive English. Together, we're gonna make your English better.
Put your hands on your head.
Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil? Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil?
Your ass is mine.
No! Not yet, it ain't. Not yet, it ain't.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Infinitive English channel. My name is Rahman. I am your host. And in today's episode of Phonetical Breakdown, we're breaking down some classics. It's 1987 ROBOCOP.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
So, guys, I hope y'all ready for this. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Phonetical Breakdown.
Put your hands on your head. Put your hands on your head.
Put your hands on your head. Put your hands on your head, he said. Well, it's before RoboCop was transformed into a half machine, half human being, the ultimate crime fighter. So, guys, did he say put your hands on your head?
Put your hands on your head.
Nope, he didn't. So he said put your hands on your head. Now let's break it down. Put your hands on your head. So now, guys, you remember if the T goes right in front of the Y sound, gives us the ch sound. Pucha. And you remember that you in the American English might be ya, right? Hands on your head. So let's address this your thing. What's up with the R sound? So in some accents of the American English, or American accent has sub-accents, right? So in sub-accents, in some of those sub-accents, these are, especially when it's at the end of the word, like daughter, computer, center, is just reduced, right? Well, it's not being that articulate. So he said, put your hands on your head. Put your hands on your head.
Put your hands on your head.
Put your hands on your head. The next one is amazing because it has the name in the end. And you'd be like, what the hell did he just say?
Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil? Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil?
Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil? Why don't you? Same thing, you guys. As you may see, this occurred and again. But this time he said you, chew. Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil?
Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil?
Why don't you let us? And again, guys, it's super important. It's really crucial for you to understand that to create a specific American rhythm, right? And this voicing, we have got to keep everything connected, right? So why don't you, and again, this the, it may sound somewhat a flat sound as well, right? So why don't you let us, same thing. If you guys have been paying attention, which I know you have, you by now already understood that if the T or D occurs between two vowel sounds, gives us this flap sound, right? In this case here, we got let us. Why don't you let us take over? So what does take over mean?
To get control of something or to do something instead of someone else.
Take over is a phrasal verb, and it means to take control over doing something instead of someone, or to initiate the control of the situation like we have in this case scenario, right? Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil? Now, from here is understood. Now, this Emil. What's Emil? Name of one of those bad guys with the shotguns out there pointing their guns at RoboCop to be.
Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil?
Why don't you let us take over from here, Emil? Now, the main bad guy, one of his boys, he goes, your ass is mine.
Your ass is mine.
Not yet it ain't.
Not yet, it ain't.
Not yet it ain't. Not yet it ain't. Not yet it ain't. Now, see, guys, this is what I've been telling you about. Like, these situations with the transformation of the T and U, when we connect them, they transform into a ch, right? But sometimes it's not ch because we have the identical type of connection here, but this T is just dropped. Well, it's not dropped. It's not just being aspirated. It's not being articulated, right? So it's not, listen how he said this.
Not yet, it ain't.
Not yet it ain't. Now we have boom, boom. It ain't. Not yet it ain't. Yet it ain't. Yet it ain't. So we got yeah, dang. Ain't. And the same thing with the T here. It's just dropped. So this T is dropped and this T is dropped. Well, it's just the way he speaks, right? Well, not technically speaks like as in everyday life, but this is how he said this phrase to make it sound more, I don't know, somewhat cool. So he said, not yet it ain't. But he could have said, not yet, because this not yet thing, not yet. It's again, it's a quite common phrase in the English as a whole, but sometimes in the American English, it may sound just not yet. Not yet. So have you done your homework? Well, not yet. Did she call you already? Not yet, man. I'm just waiting for her call. Okay, so sometimes it may be pronounced not yet, right? But in this case, he said, not yet it ain't. Now, so guys, what's up with this ain't thing? You do not write this in the business letter, okay? Super informal, okay? So ain't. Ain't means simply not, but it means am not, is not, are not, have not, has not, and so on and so forth. So every time you come across this ain't reduction, just make sure it's negation. It's negative. Whatever it is, it's a negation. Okay. So he said, not yet it ain't, not yet it ain't, yet it ain't, not yet it ain't, not yet it ain't. But again, the thing about the drop T, it's there, right? It's not like he said, not yet it ain't. No. Listen carefully.
Not yet it ain't.
It's like when you want to say not. You see you doing this aspiration, not. But the trick to do it the same way he did, well, any other native speakers do it, all the time on certain occasions. You don't have to aspirate the t sound, okay? So it's just like you want to make it, but then you just stop. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's called sometimes stop T, right? So not t. So you just eliminate the t part out of it. It's just like not
yet it ain't.
Not yet it ain't. Okay, not yet it ain't. Okay, guys. So that'll do it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to take a couple seconds of your sweet time, drop a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Stay positive out there. And remember, together, we're going to make your English better.